this is why being 30 living at home. Some of the reasons why people who are like 30 plus still living at home, it could be a few reasons. One, because they don't really have nowhere else to go, but that's not an excuse, right? Two, finances. Most people now today still living at home because of finances. It's either finances or stability, or they got to come up with a type of plan. And in today's society, there's a lot of people that's still living at home who's about 30 plus or 20 plus. You feel me? It's more about getting the plan together before you decide to move out. A lot of people don't know what the world holds. Some of the some of the main reasons why people stay at home, why live like 30, is because money. 9 times out of 10, it's over money. They don't have the finances to move out into their own, or they're a little bit nervous to go out into the world and experience independence. It'd be that, along with, like I said before, the stability. Like, some people don't be having the stable mindset. Some people don't have the stable life, you know, to go out there and sustain their own. So what they do is they stay at home with their parents or, you know, what have you. I'm not saying staying at home is the best way to go, because as a man, you kind of depriving yourself from the rest of the world. Me included. But the thing is, I didn't live here all my life. I moved out and moved to East Point, Georgia. I moved down south. I lived in East Point, Georgia, with my homeboy from Harlem. He had a spot down there with his wife at the time, and he had his doors open to me. He was like, "Yo, bro, you're welcome to come down here, and I'll hold you down until you get on your feet." And I was like, "All right, bro, appreciate that." So I dipped. I left. I left around. I say I left around tax season. So I went down there with tax money I had got from my taxes, and I didn't even know like what kind of jobs I was going to find down there, or if I was going to like it or not, because I never lived down there before. My initial plan was to go down there, see what it's like first, and then see if I want to stay. But I went to visit. Somehow liked it, so I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm coming back down here to stay. And that was when I was like in my 20s. I'm like 31 now. I was like 20, what, probably like 26, 27, something like that. And then I moved out, and I was staying with my homeboy. We was like roommates, you feel me? But the number one thing that I feel like most people don't move out is because the lack of finances. I mean, it could be a number of reasons, but I feel like my reason was money. I didn't have enough money saved up. At the same time, I didn't feel comfortable with the amount of money I was making at the time. Not saying I wasn't comfortable with it, but keeping it flat out, I didn't save. You feel me? I didn't save up money to move out, to have, to use. Same time, I was in between jobs, so it wouldn't have been completely the smartest idea for me to just leave with no employment, no money saved up in my bank account or nothing. So I was just waiting, but then things got so tough to where I was like, I was frustrated. I was frustrated living with family so much, you know, because I've been telling myself I was gonna move out, I was gonna leave, I'm leaving, I'm leaving, I'm leaving. So I just dipped. One day I got upset, got into an argument, and I just left. Went down there to Georgia, East Point, Georgia. Met my homeboy down there. Oh, this is story time for y'all. So boom, when I moved down there to Georgia with my homeboy, I didn't know what to expect. You feel me? Only thing I knew was I was going down there with money, and my homeboy was gonna hold me down, and I could trust my homeboy with my life because we lived up here in New York at the same time. You feel me? You feel me? Been in the same place. We've been cool since the sandbox. You feel me? Jumped off the porch at the same time, type shit. So I trusted him. Feel me? So when I got down there, he was basically explaining to me how it was. Now, those who stay in Georgia, at the time when I was down there, the minimum wage was only like $5 and some change. $5 was the minimum wage because the price of living was cheap. Like down there, we was paying. He had a 2 bedroom. I had my own room. He had a room with him and his shorty, right? Him and his wife, and we was only paying like it was only like 400 a month. So that was enough. But he was see, minimum wage was $5, but I didn't work at a job making minimum wage. I was going to work at Walmart, believe it or not, because it's a job. You feel me? And Walmart was paying $10 an hour based on your experience, and I got experience in doing retail and working at retail stores. So I was gonna go to Walmart. My homeboy was doing he was doing demolition. He was doing demolition, going into like other complexes that was like either closed down, fixer uppers, or that was burnt down. And he would go down there with his boss and demolish stuff and whatever they do. That was his employment. That was his way of working and making money. So I was good off that. So boom, he explained that to me. So when we got in the spot, you know, I was chilling, smoking bud, drinking. I spent my birthday down there, 2016, I think it was. Spent my birthday down there, had a blast. Like being down south, being from New York, you going down south. That shit is different. It's different because first off, the people down there not used to New Yorkers. Man, they are people from New York do like move majority down there to Georgia, so it is a lot of New Yorkers down there, but they're not used to the way we talk. You feel me? So some of the slang or some of the words or phrases I would use, they would like kind of like it. So they'd be like, "Yo, let me say that again." Like, like some of the stuff. So me and my homeboy talking to each other, being that we both from New York, and we having discussions, people would just be overhearing it. They'd be like, "Oh, like, oh, you could tell y'all from New York." So a lot of chicks like that down south. You feel me? Speaking from some New York brothers, some New York cats up here, some New Yorkers do like the Southern hospitality. Like we do like that Southern hospitality. We do like that, that that welcoming and genuine, sweet kindness. You feel me? Some of us do like that. But up here in New York, everybody cocky. You feel me? And they be feeling themselves and all of that. But New York is a place where a lot of people up here in New York are educated. You feel me? Like education is a big thing up here. So that's the reason why some people are cocky because they know what they're talking about and they know what they study. Their integrity is intact, they feel, because they got the credentials to speak on certain things or whatever the case may be. So going down south was a different scenery, different feeling, different vibes, you feel me? Kind of like a breath of fresh air, like a breath of fresh air, I should say. Like, it kind of was like I was on Dunlap Avenue, like 6 blocks, I think like 5 or 6 blocks away from College Park. Yeah. When I was down there, I didn't even come outside. Like I was in the crib for like most of the day. I was down there for like at least a year. And the first 3 months, I ain't even come outside. I was just in the crib, playing the crib, just, filling out for jobs and stuff. Um, Getting to see how the environment was, see how it felt to be down there. I met some dudes down there, but my homeboy was telling me like, yo, that dudes down here, you can't really get too close to. You can't really trust them like that because you never know what niggas is on or what type of time dudes is on. And let me get into the story time. So boom, we had a spot down there. My boy had the money to where we was selling bud and stuff, right? So he met this dude. Well, technically, I didn't meet the dude. My homeboy met him because they was working together doing demolition together. So he brought him in as a friend. So boom, we all chilling in the crib, right? Having our little conversations, talking about how it is in New York. He telling us how it is down there, down here, and down there in Georgia, and all of that. So we just talking, having a good time, drinking and smoking and stuff. So then, like, I would say like 2 weeks later, I leave to come back to New York. My homeboy stayed down there, so I came back up here because my mom had went to the hospital for a surgery, and I wanted to be there for that. So, so I came back up here to visit, see my mom and all of that. So in the process of me doing that, like a day later, I get a phone call. Like it's my homeboy. He like, yo, bro. He like, I'm like, yo, what happened? He like, yo, niggas done robbed the crib. He like, yo, niggas done broke into the spot. He told me what happened. I was like, what happened? He was like, he got into a tussle. He said, this is what happened. He said, somebody knocked on the door and he didn't know who it was. He was like, it's kind of late. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Somebody knocked on the door. He looked through the peephole. It was somebody he ain't noticed, but he ain't think nothing of it. So he opened the door. As soon as he opened the door, boom! They kicked the door in. Door go flying. He stumbled back a little bit. So one of the dudes come up in there, and dude, my man, he could fight. So they started getting into a tussle. Boom, boom, boom. They tussling around the apartment, falling over stuff. So my man's got the best of him. So then, like, I guess he had him, like, in a chokehold or something. And that's when the other man's, see, it was two of them, but he ain't know it was two of them. So the other dude came in, put the gun to his head, like, nigga, get on the ground, nigga. And my man's was like, yo, bro, I was tussling with the first nigga, but then the second nigga came into the spot, put the gun to my head. He was like, I had to give it up. He was like, bro, I'm not about to die for no weed and some money. So he was like, yo, the dudes took all the weed, they took what money that they seen there, and they left. So he was like, yo, bro, I'm not, he was like, yo, the spot is hot. I'm coming back up there because he lived in Harlem with his pops. His pops lived in Harlem. I think on Lenox or 123rd or something like that. Don't quote me, but he lived in Harlem somewhere. And he was like, yeah, so it's quiet for down here, my nigga. Like, he was like, don't come back down here right now. He was like, I'll let you know when I'm set up, you feel me? When I set up shop, I'll let you know and I'll call you back down. Or wherever I'm at, I could just, I'll shoot you a text or I'll call you, let you know you can come back down, whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. Good thing I didn't leave nothing down there, you feel me? Like, I only left, like, what I left? I left a pair of sneakers down there. That was about it. But I wasn't tripping over no kicks, you feel me? So, boom, that was it. You feel me? I didn't get a chance to go back down there at all. So then I had the only contact I had for my boy was, if y'all watching this, hit that like button, man. Show support, man. Support your boy. Anyway, the only contact I had for my homeboy down there was through Facebook and a phone number I had to call him. But I was having a fallout with some people, and I didn't want to be on Facebook no more, so I had deactivated it. Well, I had deleted it altogether. So I had lost contact with my homeboy through Facebook. I had a number to call him on. I was calling him on that number. Then, like, a month passed. My pops passed away, and I called him on that number. I found out he was having a health situation, so he was in the hospital for something. I'm not gonna put his business out there. Um, so then, like, So then I boom. So then like a few weeks later, I tried to call him again. Number was disconnected. First it went to the voicemail, right? So boom, I wasn't tripping. So then like a few days passed, I called back, disconnected. So I'm like, yo, how am I supposed to call him? So I'm like, yo, like, so I'm looking through all the numbers. I had two numbers for him, but one of the numbers he said wasn't a phone that he had, or something with the phone that he didn't. Something happened with that phone. Something happened with that first phone. He gave me another number to contact him on. So I contacted the first number. Luckily, he answered. So I was like, yo, bro, what's going on? What's good? I'm trying to find out what's going on with you. So he told me everything that he was going through. He was having some real health conditions. You feel me? I told him what was going on with me. You know, I'm grieving my pops. He passed away. He was like, yo, I'm sorry for your loss. We chopped it up. Since that day, never talked to him again. He never talked to me again. We just lost contact. Like, if I was to talk to this man today, I'd be like, yo, what's good, bro? I'd probably shoot down there and see him or whatever. You feel me? But we fell out of contact. And ever since then, I never talked to him. Years done passed. This was like in 2020. I talked to him last. Since it's 2023 now. I never talked to him again since then. But yeah, like this is basically about why living at home when you're 30. Most people live at home because they don't have a financial stability at the time. Like man, meaning like they don't have money saved up yet, or they're not making enough money to meet the quota that they need to move out and and do their own thing. You feel me? So that's what it was. That's what it came down to. You know. So and I didn't even know that Georgia was known for B&Es until I did some research and I found out that Georgia, niggas breaking and entering all the time. They breaking into all the time. You feel me? It's just that I didn't know that. You feel me? I don't even think he knew that. I think he probably don't know if he knew that or not. But I know I didn't know that. And it's another story I got too when I was down there. But I'm gonna tell you that in a different video. But this the end of this live right here, man. While I'm doing my hookah session. Happy Saturday to everybody. It's the playoffs weekend. My Giants play tomorrow. Tonight, today, the Seahawks play, and a couple other teams. I'm gonna be tuning in for that. But that I do way past cool. It's your boy I am Buddha for signing out, man. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Peace.